my Ghana flag surprise inside cake. You guys, I can't believe I'm finally making this video. It was probably about 8 years ago when I first designed this cake, and I made it for a Ghana independence event. After that event, I posted the pictures to Facebook, and I got messages from people I didn't even know asking me how I made this cake. And from then, I was determined that I was going to make this cake for YouTube and that I was going to create a video. And then about 6 years went by. And then I finally did set up a YouTube account and made a couple of videos that were not the one that I really wanted to make because I was just kind of figuring out this whole YouTube thing. But finally, I've got it together. I got my ingredients and I was like, I need to make this cake finally for YouTube. And I'm so excited to show it to you guys. And I hope you try it out. I hope you actually make the cake. And what would be awesome is if you took some pictures of it and linked it even to my Instagram page so I could see it. You could put hashtag Malaika Ghana flag cake. So I would love, love, love to see your guys' creations from this video. So to make a long story short, let's get started. All right, my people. So the first bombshell in making this cake is that the star inside the cake is not actually cake at all. It's a sugar cookie. So there are basically 2 steps in the process of making this cake. The first is making your sugar cookie dough. I have included a recipe in the description box below, courtesy of Cookielicious NZ on YouTube, and the link for her video is in the bio as well. So in the interest of saving time, I've already prepared my sugar cookie dough and colored it black with food coloring. I used Wilton's here, but any food coloring will do. Once you have made your dough, it needs to rest for 30 minutes before we can roll it out. Then when we roll it out, we need to put it into the fridge for 2 hours before we can cut out our stars. Now, I purchased my star cutters from my local hobby shop, but I will include some links to some cutters that I think will also do the job beautifully. The cutter size that I used for this cake is approximately 2 inches or 5 centimeters wide, so just keep that in mind when you select yours. Now, this is a cake that I recommend making over 2 days because after we cut out our stars, they need to be refrigerated for another 2 hours, guys. Good things take time, oh. Now, we do this to make sure that the shape of the star is maintained beautifully during the baking process. So after 2 hours, we preheat our oven to 355 degrees Fahrenheit and bake for 8 to 10 minutes. Once they are out of the oven, cool them down on a baking rack. And once they're cool, bag them up and put them in the freezer until we're ready to use them. Now for the cake. So for our cake, we're going to be using a delicious vanilla sponge cake recipe courtesy of Sugar Geek Show on YouTube. First things first, we need to preheat our ovens to 335 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we need to line our baking pans with parchment paper. We'll also be needing the iconic red, gold, and green in food coloring to tint our vanilla cake. There are 2 reasons I love this cake recipe. First, it's simple, and second, it's delicious. You just start by adding your dry ingredients: flour, baking powder, baking soda, sugar, and then your salt. Then divide your wet ingredients in 2. 1/3 of a cup of your milk is mixed in with the oil, and the rest of your milk is combined with your eggs and your vanilla. In this recipe, we use a process where we add our butter directly into the flour mixture before the liquid so that the flour gets coated with the butter fat. This keeps our cake moist and soft. Cake science! Next, we add our oil mixture, then mix. Then we add our egg mixture in 3 separate additions, while remembering to stop and periodically scrape to the bottom of the bowl to keep everything well mixed together. Once the batter is fully mixed, I use my measuring scale to divide the first full batch of batter into 2 bowls, and I add about 1/4 teaspoon of food coloring for the red and for the green. Now it's time to bake.
So typically it takes about 30 minutes for these cakes to bake in the oven. My oven takes about 45 minutes for these cakes, but it all depends on the temperature of your oven. So the main thing is to keep an eye on them. And once a toothpick or skewer inserted into the center of the cake comes out clean, you know that your cakes are ready. Once I take my cakes out of the oven, I just let them cool on a cooling rack for about 30 minutes, and then I tip them out of the pan. So finally, the part that we've all been waiting for. Now we make another 2/3 batch of vanilla batter, and we color this golden yellow. And we start the process by adding about 1/3 of the batter to the bottom of our pan. So here's where the magic happens. We're going to arrange our cookies in a circular configuration, packing the cookies as tightly as possible together in that circle. Then we're going to transfer the remainder of our batter into a Ziploc bag, cut off the tip, and then use that bag to squeeze the batter into every nook and cranny that surrounds those stars, covering the stars completely. Just in case you're wondering, I used 37 stars in this cake, and that's actually just a fraction of the number of stars that half of the cookie batter makes. So the rest of the cookies, I just put them in a freezer bag and I pop them into the freezer, and then anytime I feel the need to make a Ghana flag cake, they're there sitting waiting to be used. So once I've smoothed out the top of my batter with the spatula, I tap it a few times and then just pop it into the oven. 45 minutes later, I have this beautiful golden confection. Once our cakes are cool, it is time to assemble. Starting with the green layer, I just trim off any caramelization that might be left on the cakes, and then I use a little bit of buttercream icing colored in green to fix the first cake to the cake board. Then I trim our golden layer, making sure that you keep the stars right side up. And then last I add the red icing and top it off with the red cake. This is the point at which we can let our creativity run wild. So for the design of this cake, I was inspired by a piece of kente my mom gave to me. The cake gives a subtle hint of the red, gold, and green that will be revealed inside when we cut the cake. So here it is, guys, the moment of truth. This is the point at which we get to see all of the pieces come together.
Alright guys, here it is. We made it to the end. This is your cake. It is moist, it's delicious, it is beautiful. I'm so looking forward to seeing the pictures of the cakes that you guys make. And please link it to hashtag Malaika Ghana Flag Cake or hashtag Malaika Surprise Inside Cake on Instagram so that I can go on there and take a look at them. Can you imagine when you bring this into your next dinner party and they see the cake that you have put the time and energy and love into making? Hey, it will be an event. Oh. Anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Please like the video, please subscribe to the channel. I'm so looking forward to making more cakes and bringing more projects like this to you guys. And yeah, just have a fantastic day. Take care. Also, in the comments, let me know what other country cakes that you would like to see me do a surprise inside of, or even any other cake projects that you'd like to see made. Thanks and have a fantastic day. Okay, I've been waiting for this moment the entire time we've been making this cake, okay? Yes, yes. Oh, okay. Thank you.